Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Jamie. I read a ton of books, and tonight I'm going through my stacks and stacks of murder mysteries and suspense novels to put together a pile of possibilities for October. So I've gone through the prompts for all of the TBR Harvest game boards. TBR Harvest is one of the 2 readathons I'm participating in that has prompts specifically for October. There probably are bingo boards coming for Dewey's, but I have to make them still. So there will be prompts for that as well, but that's something I need to actually make in the next 2 days. Yeah. In the meantime, my pile of possibilities is based around the TBR Harvest prompts, since we actually don't have any prompts yet for Fablin, because we get those as the game progresses. So in the meantime, yeah, here are some books on my TBR pile of possibilities. They are all murder, mystery, and suspense novels. And I'm only going to be doing either this genre range of print books or NetGalley arcs for October. So either it's in one of those categories or it has to be put off till November. I will probably even go so far as to return the books from the library that are not in the right categories. Yeah, so we'll see if I actually go that far, but I probably will. Anyway, so here are just a few of the murder mysteries that are on my radar for October. In no particular order, we have Margaret Cole, The Perfect Suspect. I've read 2 books by this author. So there is a prompt in the TBR Harvest Trick or Treat game for a veteran author, an author you've read before. This one would be great for that. I've got another one for that possible prompt, Airs Above the Ground by Mary Stewart. And also The Thorny Hold by Mary Stewart. This one works for witchy vibes. It's not really suspense as far as I can tell, although Stewart writes suspense and fantasy. But I don't find a lot of suspense vibes in the blurb, so we'll see if it actually is. One of these is, though. Airs Above the Ground is a suspense novel. We have, for the prompt that's for a short book, like under a certain number of pages, this one's decidedly short. The Chase of the Golden Plate by Jacques Fertrel. I know nothing about it, but it's short, and it's a murder mystery. I don't know which one of these I'm on, so this is just a placeholder for I need to read more of this series. This is the #1 Ladies Detective Agency series by Alexander McCall Smith. I have a lot of them, and they are murder mysteries. I don't think any of them are eating pumpkins on the cover, but I will see where I left off in the series and try and finish a few more in October. Another one that might be a reread, actually, I don't know, I'll find out later. The Witness at the Wedding by Simon Brett. I really like Simon Brett, he's fun. And I'm pretty sure I've read part of this series. This one is a feathering mystery, and I got to about book 12 in the feathering series, so it might work for the reread prompt. I have Bats in the Belfry, a London mystery by E.C.R. Lorak. And the bats part, it's not really for a particular prompt, because I think the trick-or-treat prompt that's actually a picture of a bat is not actually a prompt related to bats. But it's still going to have to be on my TBR for October, because it's got bats in it. Murder of a Lady, a Scottish mystery by Anthony Wynne, has a very autumnal cover. I don't know if it means it's set in autumn, but it might be. There's one that's supposed to be a romantic subplot. So, 7 Tears for Apollo by Phyllis A. Whitney, a romantic novel of suspense. Not really a subgenre that I go for very often, but I have it on hand, and it does fit. For a book with a cat on the cover, I have Cat's Paw by Roger Scarlett. And I actually have a kitten that looks like that cat now, that I'm keeping, named Maurice. And I have another book with a cat on the cover, The Cat Sitter's Whiskers, which has a cat and a whole bunch of masks. He's very cute. I don't have a cat that looks quite like that right now, but he's adorable. So I have plenty of cats on the cover. I probably have more in my stacks. My bed is completely coated in piles of murder mysteries at the moment. So I will have to put them all away before I get to go to bed tonight. Right. Wicked Autumn, which obviously says autumn in the title, so it's promising anyway, by G.M. Mallier. Don't know anything about it. Don't even know if that's how you say the name. Mallier. If it's French, there's really not much else we can do with it. Yeah. A cozy mystery. Not that some of the others aren't also cozy mysteries, but a cozy mystery, Aunt Dimity Detective by Nancy Atherton. I have a supernatural crime, suspense, murder mystery series. This is book 1 by Simon R. Green. Something from the Night Side. The first book in the Night Side series. Which I think probably all of the series is in the house, because one of my housemates really wants me to read this series. So I do need to get to that in this month. Made Up to Kill, a Jeff and Hyla Troy mystery comedy by Kelly Roos. Not a subgenre I read very much, so that should be interesting. Some of Simon Brett's novels are comedy and murder mystery, but I don't read a lot of comedy murder mystery otherwise. This one has a sweet word in the title, lots of them. Triple Chocolate Cheesecake Murder by Joanne Fluke. First book I've read by this author, and I'm going to be looking to see at the library if they have more of her books. I'm sure I've seen them there before, because she might have like a pumpkin pie theme, and there might at least be something pumpkin-y on the cover. So that might work. I'm sure Leandra is kicking herself for some of these prompts. She had a hard time with the pumpkin on the cover, which I can sympathize. There have been a few bingo boards where I set the prompts for Dewey's and then realized when I went to put my books together to read the prompts that I made up for the readathon that they were a lot harder than I thought they were. So I know the feeling. But I have some ideas of where I could find some pumpkins on the cover. And I also am going to scour some of the Read It Now murder mystery, crime, thriller arcs available on NetGalley. If I don't already have one that'll work, because you never know. Because there's probably a lot of autumn theme books coming out. So there may be something on there, and then I can also be reading an arc, which is good. This one I've added because it has the moon and the tree. It looks all spooky, Halloween-ish. And I've just been eyeing this book for a couple months, so don't know what it is about it. It's appealing. The Listening House by Mabel Seeley. I have a book with a hot drink on the cover, tea with the black dragon, and this dragon has a little teacup, and down by his foot he's got his little teapot and a book. He's a very happy little dragon. So yeah, my stacks are getting a bit unwieldy over here, but we'll keep going. I have a few more to show off before I drop all the books. This one's interesting and short. This is another one that could work for prompts requiring short books. Great Black Kanba, a 1944 murder mystery with comic interludes set on board the Trans-Australia Railway by Constance and Gwyneth Little, with apparently a lizard on it. So it's just a very intriguing book. Yeah, not something I have come across before. Got Marjorie Allingham's Mr. Campion's Quarry for a book that's all black, or mostly black. Historical murder mystery. Blind Justice by Bruce Alexander. I've read another one of the books in this series. They're okay, and I do like that there's a female sleuth. Or at least a female, sleuth person involved. I don't remember if she's actually the sleuth, but she's involved, which is good. Death of the Demon by Anne Holt. I've been meaning to get to this book all year. It's been on several TBRs, including the one I think for January or February. I've been meaning to get to it for a very, very, very long time. Yeah. And if the title is an indication, maybe there's some superstition in it, which is a prompt. We got Noughts and Crosses by Ian Rankin, which is book 1 in the Inspector Rebus series. So I need to read it before I can read the rest of my books in that series. Dead on Sunday, which has a very Halloween sort of cover, by A.J. Ord, who is also Sherry S. Tipper. This one's one that I just love the cover. I don't know what it is about it. It's very 80s, actually, but A Pawn and a Queen by Fiona Buckley. It's a distinctive cover. And I'm guessing that there's either checkers or chess involved in the book. We have the first book in the Poppy Redfern series, Poppy Redfern and the Midnight Murders. And I do have book 2 as well on my bed at the moment. If I like it, I will, for any of these series where I'm reading the author for the first time, if I really like it, I may set aside some of the other books from my pile of possibilities and replace them with more books from those series that I really like and binge them for a while. It's the nice thing about this genre. There's a lot of binging opportunities. Dorothy Gilman, Nun in the Closet. I don't remember if I've read this one, so I need to look that up. I don't remember it, so it would be a good candidate for a reread as well. I love Dorothy Gilman's Mrs. Polyfax series, which I do own it, but it's on loan to a housemate, and I don't really need to reread it right now. Mrs. Polyfax is a little old lady who becomes a CIA secret agent. And I love it. It's, yeah. So if you're looking for that kind of series, they're all very fast, short reads. Most of them are under 200 pages. So, yeah, highly recommend. She also does some others where there's kind of a supernatural element, fortune telling or ghosts or things like that. So A Nun in the Closet might have some of that in it. There's one I read of hers that had like crystal balls and fortune telling and that kind of stuff, where it actually works, not just characters that do it. Anyway, so we'll see what that one's about. It might work for that superstition prompt. And then here's one for book to film prompt. I have two more here, this one and one other that both work for that. This is a Phryne Fisher novel, The Castlemaine Murders by Carrie Greenwood. I think I have a couple more Carrie Greenwood novels, so if I really like this one I can hunt the rest of them down. They're not on the bed though, so somewhere in my stacks I have more murder mysteries, probably whole stacks of them. And then, let's see if I can even grab this one without knocking the whole rest of the books down. This is actually what my process looks like, by the way. If anyone was curious about what it looks like when I'm planning what I'm going to read, this is what it looks like. And it's this chaotic, oh my gosh. And the cats think it's hilarious and really annoying at the same time. Okay, and this is the last book that I'm going to show off today. The Night Manager by John le Carré. The movie for The Night Manager, I think it's actually the same thing. I haven't double checked that the movie and this book go together, but I think that's the book for it. The movie has Tom Hiddleston in it. And there's some really sexy stills that pop up on the internet of him. So before I can watch the movie, though, I need to read the book. So I'm guessing that that's the book, because it's the same title and looks like it's the right kind of story. So we'll find out when I read it. I know there's movies of that book, though, even if that's not the right movie. But I think it is. And then it gives me an excuse to actually have to watch a movie with Tom Hiddleston in it. So I can do that, definitely. Anyway, so that's my starting pile of possibilities. They have turned into a pile literally all over me. So I'm not going to hold them all up like, hey, look at this stack, because at this point it's way too much for me to pick up. And more than 20 books. So the TBR Harvest Trick or Treat Challenge, that game board is the one with the most prompts. At least that you'd end up working your way through. And this is more than them. But I still don't have a book with a pumpkin on it. And I don't know if I have a book with a vampire in it, because I'm not sure the Simon R. Green books have vampires. I think they do, but I don't know which books that would be, if it's in all of them, or yeah. So I may be still watching for another book with a vampire in it. And obviously there are other prompts that are going to come up through Fablin that I'm going to need to fit books to. So this is definitely not all the books. My guess is that I'm going to do Dewey's bingo boards that are like dates and colors of covers. I kind of have been doing that kind of boards the last couple of times, and they seem to work well, and they're open enough to work with other things. So not too big a spoiler, because I need to make them in the next 24 hours. So I'm leaning towards doing like a bingo board where it's different colors on the cover, and then a bingo board where it's like books published in different decades. probably published in or set in those decades to make it a little bit more open-ended, more options. So I'll still need to then fit my books to those prompts, because when I make bingo boards for the readathons, I'm not usually mapping them onto what I want to read anyway. It would be smart if I did, but I generally don't. So then I have to go through myself and see if I actually own any books that fit the prompts that I made up in the first place. So, as I said, I understand the pain of realizing that you set prompts for your own readathon that you may not own books for. So, yeah, it happens. Anyway, so that is my TBR so far. And the first time I tried to record this, I had a cat that came and volunteered to be shown off, but she looks like she's mad at me now because the bed is completely occupied by books. So she's not doing that again. So you'll have to wait till the next video to have Katarina meowing at the speaker. Yeah. She is. She's sitting there glaring at me, and she glares at me and then she looks at the books and she glares at me again. So after this after this video starts uploading, I will have to clear off the bed so that the cat will stop staring at me like that, and go to bed so that the cat will stop staring at me like that. So I will catch you guys probably in sprints tomorrow, which for most of you guys will be today or even a few days ago, depending on when you watch this video. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in sprints and in the readathons. I, at this point, have no idea who's winning in any of the readathons that are competitive this month. But I know that my teams have not given up yet in either of the competitive ones. So that's good. I think I am done logging all the books I'm likely to finish. If I all of a sudden get the inkling to read another book start to finish when I wake up tomorrow, there may be one last book. But I think I've finished my September reading, because tomorrow I've got other things that I also need to do. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll catch you guys again in the next video or somewhere on the booktubes. Bye guys!